What do we do, Bev?
We're doing some power stretching.
Our strategies before we
Yeah,
start our call.
yeah, to improve our posture, boost happiness, confidence, success.
How many should we do?
Maybe a couple more.
Two up.
Yeah,
Join in if you
if you're
like
if you're injury
watching.
free
Ah, whew.
and breathe.
And we are ready. So, welcome, Bev. So, this episode, it's all about Beverley Densham, and Bev is a fabulous member of WIBN, and I'm looking forward to find out a lot more about you, even though I know a lot already, because we've been how long have we known each other? 18 months, something like
hmm
that. Yeah. Um, so, tell me which WIBN group you are a member of and why.
So I'm a member of your Women in Business networking group, and why it's actually because of my sister Julie New, actually, who's been a member of Women in Business over 15 years now. And it was in the pandemic. She said, "Oh, I think you'd really find this really good." And obviously, at that point, everything was on Zoom. But actually, I think the online groups are actually still very, very good. And you can visit other groups as well. So that's sort of why I sort of got into it. And obviously, to boost my business as well as make business friends.
Yeah, because I launched my business in lockdown, and if it wasn't for networking going online, I don't think I would have survived it. And Wibin has online groups on Zoom and in-person groups. And yes, in lockdown we might have all got a bit of Zoom fatigue and that kind of thing, but I think there's still a place for it because where do you live? Where do you live now? Where do you live?
Paul Dorset by the sea.
Yeah, and there's not many in-person networking groups there, and there certainly isn't a Wibin one. So if it
Well,
was,
there are, but there aren't any women in business in the ones I've been to. It's not like you're committed to going for a year, so you're. It's not. There's not so much, good long-term relationship building with
yeah.
the ones I've been to. It's a bit more airy fairy. Have a nice coffee, and you can just go to your personal life, hobby, social. For me, that's plunging in the sea to get the social bits.
Yeah.
The main social bits. So I wanted it to be more, you know proper, what I
Yeah.
would call proper business networking.
Yeah, but there's all right because I talk about networking strategy. You should be part of a membership, because you're right. It's all about building relationships. Some pay as you goes, which sounds like they're the ones near you. Some free stuff and some one-off events, and that's kind of your networking strategy. So right, tell me a little bit more about you and your business and your journey. How long have you been in business?
Over 26 years, it'll actually be 27
Wow.
this April. Oh my goodness. So yeah, very long time now. And I'm a mindfulness Pilates teacher. My background, I have a sports science degree from University of Brighton, but I actually got into the whole Pilates thing. And if you're like someone who's thinking, what is that? It's a form of exercise, which is brilliant for your core stability, your back strength, can be very, very good in rehabilitation. And for me, that's how I got into it. I was in Australia as a backpacker after my degree, traveling the world. And I got more back problems again. And I kept being in this vicious cycle, and it helped me break the cycle. But after that, there was a quite a major road traffic accident I was involved in, and it really helped me after that, mentally and physically. And I became passionate about it, and I loved teaching it. And right from the word go, I became well known for helping people with their backs and prolapsed discs and aches and pains in their bodies. And more recently, it's been about stress and mental health and anxiety and overwhelm, as well as getting the body into what I call the injury free zone, and then maintenance to look after yourself and then keep improving in each area.
So how do you do your groups? Are they in person? Are they online?
So the group side of things, the classes for over 4 years now. Initially I had in-person studios, and I had a successful six-figure business then in Hertfordshire. I relocated to my happy place. Um, after the stress of divorce. But now the classes are all online on Zoom. It's actually amazing. I was so happy when I discovered my first client was in France. She is actually English, but she lives in France. And she has scoliosis and things. And she was like, I'd like to try this out. And this was just before the pandemic. And then I discovered that she could still, with me verbally correcting her alignment, making sure the sessions are small, either one client, maximum four, or in the classes, maximum 10 on Zoom, The clients and me both realized that I could teach really, really well, very precisely, tailoring it to the level, not just the alignment, seeing what everyone's doing still. Sometimes I have to turn clients around sideways on and things like that to see sideways on standing posture, for example. But as long as the video setup's very good, the clients can get the same results, which is very exciting. And I still really enjoy it. And the clients are now zooming in from all over the country and different parts of the world as well, France or, Scotland, Ireland, England, anywhere is welcome, really.
So I do your Pilates class, um, and because I've had back problems, I had disc replacement. You can't see the scar anymore. Disc replacement here, and at the same time I was getting that checked out. I was getting pain in my lower back, and I had that scan there, and I had an L4, L5 disc problem, and it's all from lifestyle, like working on laptops. I was a consultant, so I was always jetting around on planes, trying to get the presentations done. So I was getting hunched over and hunched over and hunched over. I was studying for my accountancy qualification, so it's just probably over 10 years, it just got worse. So I exercised. I started exercising, getting a personal trainer, but you always need Pilates as well. You always need some core strengthening as well. And I have gone to the local gym and I have done the yoga classes and Pilates classes. But if you're anything like me, I get there last. I get there late, right? Because I'm just in time. So I'll go straight to the back where everybody else is probably hanging out. And the teacher didn't see me. They weren't correcting me. I had no clue if I was doing it right. Felt right, but what do we know? I never wanted to look myself in the mirror anyway. Um, but I prefer Pilates online because you do correct us and you're very good with your words. You're very articulate. And when we never feel singled out either, because when you are trying to show us how to correct us, but also the opposite, how to then, because you know our capability, you can also then push us up to the next level as well, can't you? And even though you're in a class, it does feel like a one-to-one in a way, because you can tell you're looking at us all through your Zoom room window. So yes, I would definitely highly recommend your Pilates classes. But how else has your business evolved over 26 years?
Well, it's evolved. I think it's evolved in some ways, it's the same. As in, I still look after everyone's backs and aches and pains, and it might be arthritis or bursitis in the hip or post-hip replacement or different things going on. But in the way it's changed, I think the lovely thing in recent years is adding in stress management. So I teach stress management as well. I teach that one-to-one programs. I teach that to corporate or law firms, but I also sprinkle that in, which clients, it's not what I teach is not bog standard Pilates. I mean, Pilates on its own is very good if properly taught, if the class size is good, if the teacher's qualified, and all those basic things, which doesn't always happen. But that's one thing. But I think because I sprinkle in extra de-stress breathing techniques, the stress to calm 1 minute breathing techniques, for example, into your classes. I obviously teach it separately as well. And the 1 minute journaling, the positive affirmations, sometimes goal setting visualization. When you do all of those extra things and then you incorporate it into your lifestyle and practice 6 minutes a day and a minute here and a minute there. It might be in bed in the morning, at night. It might be in the bathroom. It might be at your desk. It can even be on a walk. Sometimes people think you've got to be in this lavender infused room, spa-like with twinkly music, whatever. It doesn't have to be any of that. I think that the thing is, yes, you can have a really maybe spa-like class with me, which still really strengthens the body, but you can add these things practically into your day with eyes closed, eyes open, so that your nervous system is calmer, you're more resilient, you're stronger, you're much less stressed. Or if you do get stressed, you can do something about it if you want to do something about it. It's a choice. And I've designed tools like the happy exercise, it as calm to happy in 1 minute, and also bringing in the sort of sports science, psychology research behind each of those tools, so that hopefully you're motivated to practice and understand why you would do calm to happy in 1 minute, that actually it's got, the breathing, which is, recommended by, A, research, B, doctors, psychologists, therapists, etc. And then you can use, and then you've got all the other elements which benefit too, like the positive affirmations and the journaling. And it makes it, to me, it makes it much more interesting. And I love seeing bigger, far more reaching results than just the body. It is the mind, it is the better mental health, and it is being empowered with a toolbox to help yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's really exciting. And that actually came about because of being a member of WIBN.
So tell me more, how did that come about then?
So I'd been a member, I think at that point, maybe about a couple of years. And there was a lawyer called Anna Illingworth in my group, who's a partner at Rowberry Morris Solicitors in Hampshire. I can talk about her because she's actually written the forwards to one of our books now. But what happened was she approached me because of stress levels was the primary pain, personally and professionally. And the secondary pain were disc problems in the lumbar spine and the low back. And so we did a one-to-one program. And at that point, I realized how much she was benefiting separately as well from the other stress to calm tools I'd either designed or was teaching, such as the fast breathing techniques. Like when I say fast, not breathing really fast like hyperventilating, I mean fast as in quick to do 1 minute. And at that point, I then started teaching her law firm, and they're in different locations. So they zoomed in for a stress management wellbeing workshop with me, and then we did a whole 6 months with the team, together, which was amazing. And at that point, I was like, wow, this is really helping them. And on average, it was getting a 40 to 75% reduction in stress. I was doing my sports science statistics and seeing how much but how they were feeling and how they were empowered by practicing, by me encouraging them to practice. And at that point, I was like, I could help a lot more people with this. So I approached my publisher, and then I ended up with co-author Janie Lee Grace, and we wrote 3 books on the back of that so far. I've written 5 in my life, but 3 with Janie. And it's called Stress to Calm in 7 Minutes for Lawyers. That came out of working with Anna, and she wrote the foreword, which was amazing. And we also wrote one for nurses and also teachers as well.
And where can you buy them? On the Amazon?
Yes, you can get them on Amazon, but you can also get them at any of your favorite bookshops from Amazing Waterstones, your favorite independent bookshop. They can all order them in, and also Kindle, of course, as well. Sign copies, or if you want to do stress management wellbeing workshops for your school with your teachers and support staff, or with NHS or hospitals, or with your law firm, or just for your company, then I can do book signing and get copies alongside the workshop is obviously even more beneficial. Or can do that for your company too, or individual, which I love doing too.
Fabulous. I'm just trying to read what my next question is. So before you was networking with WIBN, what was your experience of networking before you joined WIBN?
So in my first 16 years of business, I would say I didn't need to do networking like this, if that makes sense. I had a column in the local newspaper. I had in-person premises. I was the first Pilates teacher in the county. The association I qualified with kind of gave me a whole list of people that wanted to start Pilates. So I was kind of handed some business on a plate kind of thing. I wrote this column and shared success stories and stuff like that. So I was high up on Google and all of those kind of things. So I think it was easier then, I would say, much easier. And then when I went on to doing networking in Dorset, it wasn't really so much of building a long-term relationship and how can I help you with your business, and support each other kind of thing on a long-term basis. It was more of a pop to a nice networking event and meet some nice people, and I've had a nice coffee.
Which is good.
Which wasn't so helpful for building business.
No, but it depends what your networking goals are, aren't they? Some people, I know, just go networking if they moved into the area and they want to meet more people. That's their networking goals met. But if you want to build relationships, and that's why I love WIBN, because I always say it's like the best women in business are hanging out in WIBN, and we're interested in you. We want the best for you. We listen. and we're always talking about you all, you're not there, but in a good way. Do you know what I mean? Talking about you and your business.
Yeah, there is another thing which is actually boosting my business, but it's purely I'm going every Friday morning. My favorite hobby is to plunge in the sea, all weathers, in the freezing cold. I think it was 5 degrees on Friday. 7 a.m. sunrise is a group that goes to the
Ah,
you go for a beach walk, plunge in the sea, I have a little jog after, and then go for a coffee before work. But actually, one of my clients introduced me to that. She's then recommended me to another one of her friends who did a 6 month one-to-one program. Then she's introduced me to another friend who's I helped all the way through pregnancy, and now she's got promotion into class postnatally from next week. She's had her baby boy now, and then there's another friend there who wants help with their stress levels and stress management, but I'm not going there at all to get business.
no.
I ended up speaking at a Wellbeing 2024 event at Bournemouth University because of going to that, because one of the ladies runs this incredible event for mental health and well-being of schools and teachers and the children. So amazing things have happened from going to my own personal
Mhm.
social and becoming known with some of the friends there, actually, or my client that goes.
Yeah, and it's find something that you love. My ex-husband, my late husband used to say, just do what brings you joy and everything works out. I think sometimes we're always saying should statements or forcing ourselves to do something or be somewhere and we're wondering why it's not working. I think if you just go with what you love and what you enjoy, then the right people are there, aren't they? Because you're already like-minded because you're already enjoying the same thing, the same hobby.
Yeah. So that's been interesting because there's been zero intention of trying to get any work there. It's purely I'm going for the social, the hobby. It's something I love to do. I love the sea. And I suppose it's been a bit of a bonus that some additional work has come from it.
So how has networking helped you personally and professionally? How has it helped you personally and how has it helped your business?
Personally, it's really nice. Personally, I think the kind of person and professional sometimes tie up together. So, for example, at every meeting, you have a business topic. It's nice that you have a little social at the beginning. You go into a breakout room and you catch up, which is nice. And then you have a business topic as well. So that's more focused on, building your business. So the last week it was about working in your zone of genius, excellence, and hopefully not competence and incompetence. So that was what the business topic was about, the last meeting I went to. And so it's nice you then get to chat about that with your business friends. So it's also about you've got your business women together and you've got that in common, but you can also work on improving things and discussing things and getting different people's point of view. So you've got it's nice to have business friends that support each other as well as you know growing your business and improving things as well, or learning new things as well.
Um, what what are you doing now that you wouldn't be doing if it wasn't for networking and meeting people?
Well, I think probably the most exciting thing for me to come out of it from a working point of view is the stress to calm style of teaching. That's exciting for me because now one of the members at Women in Business is a financial coach called Amanda Edwards, and I'm really grateful for her. And she came up with the idea in one of the sessions. She came up with the idea of me teaching Pilates teachers a stress management training course. So I actually taught my first one last year, which means that I wouldn't have thought of doing that, and I absolutely love teaching that. So I want to build and grow that. And also having written these books, so proud of it, and it's just so lovely and rewarding teaching the tools, which makes it much more interesting for me, but for the clients to see the bigger results in that, not just the body, the mental health, the stress levels going down, but in that somebody's whole life, and sprinkling that all in and having extra services like the stress management wellbeing workshops, one-to-one side of things if somebody's going through that higher stress, anxiety, overwhelm, or as a preventative within the mindfulness Pilates is or somebody's coming along with they might not be booking in for the high anxiety, but the anxiety's through the roof in the background. They come for, I know, an ache and a pain in the back or sciatica or something like that. And then they get those other benefits. And then if that's zapped in one session and then they've got to just maintain it, then that's just incredibly rewarding. And it's like you're making a much bigger difference then, which is quite exciting to me. And,
Yeah.
the whole stress to calm thing, would it have all happened if Anna hadn't booked in with me? I don't know. And
And that
obviously she was a member of WIBN.
and that's what I love about WIBN. It's connecting afterwards. So we all go to a monthly meeting, but it's what happens afterwards, and it's connecting with other people. And we have what we call a one-to-one, isn't it? It's a half an hour call or an hour call, generally about getting to know each other because we really need to understand each other more. And I love them because you never know where this conversation is going to take you. You could never have predicted, could you, when you joined that call, that this amazing idea would have come out the other side of it.
No, no, exactly. It has been really amazing. And then you've got members like my sister. Yes, she is my sister, but she is also a member of WIBN. And like we support each other with with our businesses, as an example. So she knows that if any of her coaching clients have got sciatica, low back pain, or scoliosis is the latest client I'm working with, and then working with her mum, who's had the high anxiety and some back issues, she knows that she can safely recommend me, and I can help them. And equally, if I've taught a law firm a stress management workshop, she also does a wellbeing workshop because she's a personal recovery coach and helping after grief. She can do a grief wellbeing workshop, or she can also do a wellbeing workshop for a company, and then I can recommend, and then she has then often worked with the same company that I've worked with, which is really nice. I can support her business too.
Um, what 5 words describe WIBN for you? What 5 words have you got?
For today, I'm going for supportive, friends. I'll go for 2 words here: business building and interesting.
Thank you. Great words. And for what advice have you got for anybody who might be new to networking or they've experienced networking, it wasn't the best experience? What advice would you give to them? What are your top tips?
The top tips are you just have to go and do it. And if you're an introvert, it's easier to network on Zoom. If you're an introvert going to in-person networking, make sure you do some power stretching before you go in, do some calm to happy in 1 minute before going into it, because it will feel a bit more you might feel a bit more anxious and stressed before it, but once you get there and you meet the friendly franchisee, Susie, or one of the franchisees, you'll be made to feel at home. And there's a really good format and agenda, so you get used to the format. And as you said, Susie, if you do your one-to-ones, you get to know each other better gradually, and then you can support each other sort of on social media in between, and hopefully refer as well.
I remember when I started the business, I bought the franchise. I was nervous as hell because I was putting adverts out there for people to come to my groups. And I remember when I launched all my new groups, I didn't know anyone. Do you know what I mean? Everyone was coming through that room was a stranger. But the one thing that they had was a nice smile. Do you know what I mean? They were all welcoming, friendly, approachable, kind, kind women who have got a business, and they just wanted to meet people and grow the business. Now, fast forward, I don't know, 18 months, every single woman who's a member or a visitor, I class them as friends. You know, when you feel like you know them, you like really know them. And that's the best thing for me with networking. It's the best business decision I ever made, and I absolutely love it. Um, so that's the end of our conversation. Is there anything else? Do you have a WIBN offer at all?
Yes, I think my little gift to you is to come and do a wellbeing stress management session with me as a gift. I have a little class on Zoom, 30 minutes, and you're very welcome to try that out as a
And
gift.
and how can we
Stress to
find it? You're going to
calm.
send me that how's the best way for them to get onto that?
Email to book in.
Okay, and what's your email?
It's bev@mindfulnesspilates.com.
Thank you very much.
And I would like to give one more shout out to WIBN. Also, it's amazing using other people's services as well.
Mhm.
So like Julie's, been my personal coach. I've done some business coaching with you, Susie. Obviously, your group's great. I've had a VA, had somebody sort out my email system amazingly, and it's all modern and lovely. And I keep inbox zero nearly every week. There's a printer that prints my affirmation card decks me from WIBN. Somebody's helped me with social media, copy, graphic design, and I love using other people's services
Yeah.
too, because there's really a lot of quality within WIBN, and because you get to like people and like their services, then it's nice to support them too.
And that's a great point, actually, because when I started out in business, I didn't know anyone, and you need people for some services. And unfortunately, when I started out, I met some not very nice people promising you the world and then delivering a nightmare. So a lot of money could be lost. The service you provide is not that best, and you become quite disillusioned about people in the business world. I became a member of WIBN, love WIBN, and love all the people that are coming as members and visitors to WIBN. And I'm the same. I will only work with people within WIBN community because you know that they'll look after you, they'll give a good service, won't they? And you'll also get along. And that to me just ticks all the boxes.
Yeah.
What's that?
I picked a be yourself
Oh, I love it.
affirmation. There we go.
Affirmation, be yourself. I love that. Well, thank you very much, Bev. Mwah. Lovely as always.
Thank
And
you.
I'll see you at the next Pilates class this week.
See you there.